Right, team, in today's video, we're talking about how to play the creator game on easy mode. Over the past 18 months, I've collected over 1.5 million data points across all of my multi-6 and 7-figure education creator clients in Scale 20, and the results are in. There are just 2 metrics that are the most closely linked to that sweet cash in your bank. And if you nail these 2 metrics in 2026 and beyond, you'll be well on your path to building your dream microeducation business, but more importantly, making it as effortless as possible. Because here's the truth, okay? I have clients with hundreds of thousands and millions of followers on platforms like Instagram and LinkedIn who have struggled to convert that massive attention into cash. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, I have clients who have built small micro-cult brands who are making insane amounts of money with tiny audiences in comparison. Like Louis, who helps fitness coaches start and grow online, who a few months ago, he had his first back-to-back 100K months with no sales calls or no sales team members. Or Frederick, who in the past 12 months has gained just over 4,000 subs here on YouTube, made $72,000 in profit last month and over $500,000 in profit in the past 12 months, all inbound, and again, no sales calls, no sales team. And Taryn, who hit her first 100K month in July with her lean, compact, and highly profitable micro-cult brand audience. And look, it's the same story for me. I've 10x'd my business in the past year since completely dropping sales calls from my calendar and ruthlessly leaning into what we're going to be covering today. So what's going on here? How is it that folks like us with frankly tiny audiences compared to some of the largest creators out there are able to do this? Well, like I said, from the 1.5 million data points that I've collected in the past 2 years, I found that 2 metrics stand head and shoulders above the rest. The king and queen of leverage producing metrics. And these 2 metrics are the difference between you either struggling to survive in the rapidly changing landscape of online business or thriving with a dream, highly profitable, lean, and most importantly, fun as fuck business. So in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can use these 2 metrics to your advantage. But first, I've got a gift for you, okay? I want you to win in 2026. So I've condensed all of the lessons that I've learned from scaling from 6 to 7 figures in the past 18 months into a super simple 3-minute daily read that gets sent to your inbox every day for the next 7 days. It's like a little tiny free golden nugget that's going to help transform your life every day. I think that's a sick gift. So if you want the secret sauce, the link is down in the description below. Okay, let's do this. So out of the 20 performance metrics that I gather from my clients, 1 metric stands right at the top of the mountain. The metric, well, it should come as no surprise to you if you've been following me here for a while. The king metric for creating a micro-cult brand is long-form content view hours. Quite simply, how much time under attention are your audience accumulating from your long-form content? Now, I've been speaking about this for nearly 2 years, but I've got the data to back it up now. The single most important metric that you need to be strategizing, monitoring, and optimizing for is maximizing the amount of long-form content view hours that you get each month. This metric is all about one thing, okay? It's building a parasocial relationship between you and your audience through time on brand. This is a psychological phenomenon where someone builds a relationship with you through consuming content that ends up with them subconsciously feeling like they know you like a friend. It's why people feel so comfortable hassling celebrities in public to get a photo. To them, they've seen so much of them on TV and in the movies that going up to them in public is like going up to a friend and saying, "What's up?" Not so much the other way around though, which is quite rightly why famous people fucking hate it. But that doesn't help educators like us, right? Okay, we aren't looking to just get snaps on the streets with fans. Maybe that's what you're into. But look, we're here to help people with our education services, help transform their lives with our expertise. So this goes back to the 7-11-4 rule that I've mentioned on this channel loads over the last couple of years. The idea that in order for someone to build up enough trust to buy online, a consumer needs to consume 7 hours of content across 11 different touch points over 4 different formats. Now, this is a rule that turns out is incorrectly attributed to Google. Yeah, apparently Google never actually came up with this. Online marketing nerds based this rule off Google's marketing concept of the 0 moment of truth, which describes the exact moment when a consumer researches a product before making a purchase decision. It's the critical point where someone Googles the product, reads reviews, watches a bunch of YouTube videos, checks the social proof, compares competitors, and then consumes educational content about it before they ever click buy or talk to a salesperson. So Google noticed a dramatic shift in buyer behavior around 2010, 2011, when smartphones became common, social media just exploded, and Google searches just became the default first step in everyone's buying decision. So they conducted a huge study across thousands of buyers and discovered that before buying anything, consumers were doing extensive online research, and those digital micro moments had more influence than any advertising or packaging. Google called this the zero moment because it occurs before the traditional first moment of truth, seeing the product on a shelf or on a sales page. Long-form content view hours do one thing: build trust. Trust is the ultimate form of leverage. It's the intangible secret sauce that's behind prospects sending you inbound DMs saying, "I'm in, how do I pay?" So how are you going to do this in 2026 and beyond? The key thing you need to do is you need to find your winning format, not a winning format, your winning format. The key to creating leverage, building trust, and maximizing for long-form view duration is simply staying consistent for years. So for that, I need you to remember one line: be like Rick. And right about now, you should be thinking, who the fuck is Rick? Okay, let me introduce you to one of my awesome clients, Rick. Rick's a tennis coach and academy owner in Perth, Australia, he came to me about a year ago and told me he wanted to finally scratch his itch and start creating on YouTube. He wanted to give back by sharing his lessons, the challenges and tips on how young tennis coaches can start and grow a tennis coaching academy. He said that right now there just isn't anyone creating this type of content for young tennis coaches. So I told him the hard truth. I said I can help him, but he's got to do one thing that most creators never achieve: get to 100 episodes. Now keep in mind, Rick had never created videos before. This was totally new for him. But I told him the stats. 49% of creators, they never make it past 8 episodes. Only 11% make it to 50 episodes, and only 6% ever reach 100 episodes. And you know what? Fair fucking play to Rick, okay? For the past 41 weeks, Rick has shown up on his YouTube channel, stuck to a format that he can repeat each week, and he has now close to a full year of creating episodes. As someone who myself tried to start YouTube 5 years ago and failed after just 3 weeks, I know how hard it is to show up week after week. So because of my mistakes, I knew I needed to lower the barrier of entry for him to get started, but more importantly, stay consistent. So I kept it super simple for him. 1 video a week, no editing, similar length, same format, 1 story, 1 key takeaway for the viewer, and 1 CTA to his main lead magnet. Now, forget about optimizing thumbnails, forget about optimizing for view duration, optimizing for titles. I just want you to simply drop a lesson and a story each week. Rick now has the ultimate binge bank, a vault of highly specific lessons, tips, and stories from 13 years of starting, building, and running a tennis academy. Now, keep in mind, the total addressable market for young tennis coaches is pretty small, right? You know, there's not huge amounts of them. So I would never expect his videos to be getting thousands of views, but every week, he has a lecture theater worth of people watching his videos, and he is building incredible time on brand with those viewers. I'll share a simple mindset hack that will make this easier for you next year and forever, frankly. This is something that I heard from one of my mentors recently, and you should write this down. Your marketing will change more lives than your paid work ever will. The way you approach creating long-form content will dramatically shift if you approach it with this mindset. When you approach your marketing efforts with the intent that Rick has done, giving away without the expectation of receiving, you build what everyone is looking for in their markets: true authority. And that is the foundation of creating leverage. So if in doubt, remember these 3 words: be like Rick. Pick a format, show up every single week until you've hit 100 episodes. And once you've hit that 100th episode, I promise you, you won't want to quit. So the question is, if long-form content view hours is the king metric, what's the queen metric of building leverage? Well, for that, let me introduce this nerd who will be able to articulate it way better than I ever could.
I would argue that 1,000 newsletter subscribers is more valuable than 25,000 followers on social media.
Yeah, sports fans, I can verify that the queen metric for creating utterly insane levels of leverage is the one metric that has stood the test of time in online business for 3 decades now: your email list size. Now, in our world in Scale 20, we refer to the email list as our one simple community. Why? Well, because your email list is the only true asset that you own as a creator. It's your one true community. At any time, any of these social media platforms could kick you off, ban you, and prevent you from ever using them again. But your email list is the only asset you truly own. Your community isn't a Facebook group, a school group, or a Discord group. Your community is your email list. Burn that shit into your brain right now. And this is the cheat code that one of our Scale 20 legends, Taryn, has used to build insane leverage and scale her business to over 100K months without a huge audience. She's used hyper-specific ads to drive over 4,000 emails to her email list. But why does this work? Email is the one communication platform that everyone still uses. It has stood the test of decades of online evolution and still stands as the one communication platform that hasn't gone out of fashion. All of my conversion gets done now through my email list. Instead of driving people to sales calls, I simply tell my one simple community when I've opened the doors to work with me. Then I send a link that allows them to apply and sign up. It means I have a fully hands-off enrollment process. Yes, no sales team, no appointment setters, and more importantly, none of the bullshit that goes along with having to manage a sales team. And yeah, some of that bullshit means giving away a ton of profit to them, so I don't have to do that. I simply put out the bat signal and I let folks decide if the time is right for them to work with me. And on that note, if you're a 6-figure business educator and you'd like to join us in Scale 20 for the start of the year so I can help you scale to 7 figures, hit me with a DM on Instagram with the number 77. I've got a simple automation that'll send you all of the details. Now, the difference is subtle, okay? So it's the difference between selling with push energy, hey, here's why you should do this thing and work with me, okay? Which is basically begging, versus inviting your audience with pull energy that's magnetic. Hey, here's what we've got going on over here. If it sounds like what you need, is the next step. It's the difference between sales-based conversion, which requires huge volumes of conversations with leads, versus marketing-based conversion, where you've already built that parasocial trust we spoke about through long-form content view hours. So instead of begging, you're inviting. I know how challenging it can be seeing everyone post all this content online saying, do this, do that. Last week, a video popped up on my recommended from a guy sharing the 35 different ways to get clients in 2026. 35. And that's the problem, right? You know, when there are 35 ways to get clients, people inevitably end up chopping and changing their acquisition methods every 3 months without ever learning how to master one. I remember watching a video from Sam Ovens years ago where he said that he spent 4 years trying to refine his acquisition method, which was just simply driving ads to webinars. And I'll never forget him saying, no one has the guts to keep doing the same thing for 4 years to become the best of the world at it. So the intent in this video was really simple, okay? If you really want to see success in 2026 and beyond, you need to build a micro cult brand by maximizing 2 metrics only, okay? Long form content view hours and building your email list. And the cool thing is you don't need millions of views and emails either. Just consistent 1,000 views on videos and 1,000 emails from your perfect future client is all you need. And you will be well on your way towards 7 figures. I have the data to prove it. And I know you can do it too, okay? Because I've done it and I'm retarded. So the next thing you need to know to do this next year is exactly what type of content to create to build that micro cult brand. This is where you'll talk about the right things that will repel the wrong people and act as a magnet to dream clients. I have an exact formula that I've used over the past 2 years, which I modeled on the biggest creators in the world. You can watch that video right here. Right, that was sick. I'll see you in the next one.